What's up, y'all? Anybody in here? Hello, hello. I think I got this going. Hello, hello. All right, so I'm just shooting off the hip. I don't have anything ready, so we'll just kind of go through what people type in here. So Disney, I mean, it's almost filled this gap from earnings. You got your anchored VWAP here from Lowe's. A couple fibs through here. It was clearly a bigger spot through here before it gapped above it. So these are still in. They're at a pretty big discount for the end of month 109 calls. They swept those on Monday. Paid 56 cents. They're like 27 as of the close Friday. I mean, it's not a ton of money, but kind of interesting there. Those are still there for the majority. What's up? Thank you for joining me. Not seeing anything big. You can see on this line for this coming week, they were in and out of this a lot. You lost 1,100 of the OI there into Friday, and a bunch more traded, so let's see what sticks on that. So these guys here, these are arbitrage. The opening yellow blocks really far in the money. You always ignore these. They're just, I can't give you like a super technical definition of it, but they don't stick in OI. They're like scalping pennies on the premium or something. Yeah, nothing like blowing my skirt up on Disney Flow, really. I like these the best, and they're like half off right now. These 628 109 calls, I think 109's like stretching it out of the money here, but they're looking at that gap fill back above. Be my guess. We'll go 4 hour. I mean, you got some type of like falling channel through here. You can almost make a case for inverse head and shoulders, but I mean, and it tagged that area. Look, it tagged that area pre-market or after hours one day, so it's technically been retested. But I mean, your risk long is obviously this big psych 100 area, that anchored VWAP from lows and those fibs right there. Not too terrible. If you were looking at it long, assuming. Dizzy's kind of shitty though, honestly. I don't really like trading it. Hey, thank you for joining me. I recognize that. Abby there, thank you. Trevor, don't even start with me, man. Let's see, we'll go back up here. NVIDIA, I'm not even going to bother with NVIDIA. I don't know what's going to happen post-split Monday. We'll see. Everybody wants it to pull back, so yeah, I don't know. Don't know if they'll get it. AI. This one's been, and these are just, I have lines on here from before. I can probably get rid of all this and we'll just, well, let's see what I'm, so there's your weekly on AI. I feel like we've had some flow on this thing recently. Hi, Blonde Broker. Thank you for joining me. What were they hitting this week? I'm just gonna set, so if we had any alerts I can see, and that'll give me something to look for. Bearish alert, that's it. Man, that's one single line opener from Monday. It's in the same spot pretty much. Yeah, they're still all sitting in OI on those 621.30 half calls. Looks like they wrote some puts. What? That's an in-the-money put writer. That's interesting. I like it when they write those in the money. It shows a little bit more conviction there. It's 14. Peter Bearish will do the September 30 puts. I mean, from a chart standpoint, I mean, the most obvious thing to me that sticks out is like this falling wedge we got here. I think you drop from there. Sorry guys, I'm just going to kind of go through each name a little bit, so I may be a little slow getting to everyone. So I would want to see an anchor from that impulse high, and that has been resistance. We failed to break above it last time. It's a pretty big area. Yeah, I mean, that's an interesting setup. I mean, it's been a gap and go since earnings. Some increasing volume for a couple days. You got more buy volume on these up days here, so looks constructive. I mean, you got some really big resistance and congestion through this 32.5, 34 area, call it. and then a breakout over 34, 34 half. But AI, that's not bad looking at all. I'm not gonna do Apple. It's like, well, it's almost, yeah, I mean, she's sniffing all-time highs. She's getting close up there. J&J. There's arbitrage people again, and there's in-the-money block puts. Don't worry about those. So no alerts this week on it. It's a decent sized print. It's okay. Yeah, nothing really jumping out on me on flow there. Let's back up here to a monthly and see where we are. So you got double inside months. I mean, that's something. There's some compression for sure. It's inside a pretty ugly candle there. Let's see. I mean, you got this huge prior area that it broke out of. I mean, it's not completely clean there, but you can see that was pretty important. If I had to draw a trend, yeah, it kind of looks broken. And I don't know what you're looking for on it, but so I'm just kind of giving you like just an objective look at it without any idea what you want. But I mean, it's a pretty big, retest through here. I don't know. These names have been getting kind of hurt. Like BMY has been pretty trashy. Similar names. Let's see. I don't know. You got I would say for J&J, just to wrap it up, double inside months. I mean, just wait for the break. Either way on that, it's compressing here. I mean, you could draw like a falling wedge into like prior, like that breakout retest, like that, and look at it as if you like it long. You're risking, I would say, like these lows through here, basically another 5 points. If you like it long, and if you like it short, I would wait for the breakdown here. You're kind of in the middle of nowhere on that one, but I'm getting to an interesting spot. I'd like to see a little bit more money flow on it. PayPal, man, that's everybody's waiting on PayPal to move, right? Any flow on AMD? There's always a shit ton of flow on AMD. It's a messy one. I'm trying to narrow this down. We'll go and look at anything over 200 that's not white. Yeah, of course. Of course. That doesn't help me. I don't think there was anything like really spectacular this week on AMD. Seeing a lot of like bid side opening calls, which would indicate like possibly, selling to open those, writing those without me like pulling up um, the entire chain and going through them. That's a leap block. I mean, that's not too crazy. Out to 2026. No one's got time for that, right? Yeah, nothing, again, nothing that's like, oh my God, wow, I love it on AMD flow wise. It's like one of the more liquid names that like falls in there with like Apple and Tesla and shit. Like we'll get like a bunch of alerts in one day just depending on what it's doing. But a lot of people are looking at the chart on it. And I've got a bunch of shit drawn out on this one already. What do you have? 168 half. Yeah, I mean, I've got a line like right through there too. I mean, technically it like broke back up, is retested and held through here like quite a few times now. Like that breakout area there is held and now it's compressing again. Yeah, I mean, call it the 168 half, 169, like a breakout of that possibly could bring you back to highs. I agree. And then, these are the dip buy areas if it gets back into there. This anchored VWAP's been pretty big flip too. A couple on PDD. Let me hit that real quick. So PDD, like I posted all that flow up into their earnings, and it kept being like ridiculous there for a few days after, and now it's like cooled off, and you start to see some more puts come through. So it's not like it was. It definitely is not like just screaming bullish now. So we're inside month. We're kind of like retesting that breakout. Retesting that big, ugly earnings reaction candle from last time. Let's see if I can draw a decent impulse here without... Yeah, it's not too bad. If that 140 half area doesn't hold, this 133 to 135 is a pretty good area here, assuming they want to hold this gap open. But if this area breaks, I mean, you can see it congested through here. It consolidated, called a bull flag or whatever you want to call it, and it broke above. But that's what I'd be looking at on PDD. Flow-wise, again, there's going to be a bunch. And that's not bad openers there. I mean, we've seen way more money flow, but as far as like short dated for a couple weeks, that's not terrible. Yeah, the open end. Wow, you got 17,000 contracts, and this week's 150 calls still hanging out. A little bit mixed how it's come through, but I mean, these blocks here look like they were, and I don't have timestamps, so I can't like read through the tea leaves and like give you an exact like idea of what they're doing, but that's kind of interesting. Those they wrote those to open, it looks like, so those are bearish. Those 621 146 calls, that's that same line. But you can see it's just not like it was before earnings. Those probably got smashed. But yeah, that's a quick look at PDD. I was on PayPal. PayPal. I don't know, man. This name is kind of like, I don't know, maybe eventually it'll do something. Like, everybody's been waiting for it to do something for so long. Like, maybe it'll shake everybody out and finally do it. But I mean, that's some interesting volume and push up here for, I don't know if there was a catalyst or not for that push, but that's some interesting volume coming in through here. I have that 68.16 line, pretty big line through there, failed above it last time. I mean, it's out of that downtrend technically, but we had some big leaps this week, I think. Yeah, these June 2026 67 halves, $5 million, but it's a block, so it's not like that cool. But some money thrown at it nonetheless. And then that same thing, the June 2026 65s, you got some size thrown at them. So they're liking leaps if that's if you got the patience for that. They're pretty active there. Shorter dated. Nothing opening shorter dated. I have it filtered down to over 100 grand right now, so I'm probably missing a few things, but everything's white, meaning that they're all open interest has not been exceeded when they swept those, so there's still a bunch of OI sitting there, so they're not going to catch a ton of attention. That and the dark pool Friday is not terrible. That 2.5, not quite 2.5 million shares at 67.30. That wouldn't be a bad line to get on your chart. Well, that's over 2 million shares at 63.53. So there's been a bit more dark pool this week in PayPal. There's 1.5 at 67.02. So definitely some more activity through here off those bigger volume days. So I mean, something could finally be brewing with that one. I don't want to sound like super pessimistic and write it off. Check the 70 weeklies for 6/14. Yeah, I mean so Thursday they hit them, and they hit 3,800 contracts, only 1,100 stuck over, and then they hit 7,900 Friday, so you'll want to see what checks there, but it's weekly, so just someone saw this push up and they were like, just started sweeping 70s probably. That's the only trick with weeklies. Let me see if I can find how it came in here. 6/14/70. There you go. Yeah, I mean it's all little guys. So maybe those work, maybe they don't, but it's like not it's not super impressive, like as far as like just pulling up the scanner and looking at it. Not saying it can't work, but yeah. McDonald's is disappointing. I should those contracts I took were up like 35% the next day, and I did not take them off. Actually added to them into the lows Friday, and we're pretty much these lows we hit. That would be my stop. With shorter dated contracts, I'm just gonna bail on them if this breaks. But we're kind of retesting through here this value area low. So I want to see what it does through here. But yeah, that was annoying for sure. And let me check and see. This week's 60. So you can see that OI has been trickling down on them. I mean, there's still a good bit there, but we'll see what this week brings. But yeah, those were up nicely the next day, and I did not take them off. So hopefully it'll come around for us. We'll see what happens. Dash. What'd you say? 628. $117 calls. It's an odd strike. Yeah, 2,600 contracts. I can't. I'm sure it's like sitting right in front of my face, and I don't see it. What's interesting is that's not pulling through here, so they would have had to have hit that like in a bunch of small lots, which is possible. I've seen that before, so that would be kind of weird. That November sweeper's interesting. Dash is kind of a bitch, though. It gave like the failed breakdown here. I was kind of watching it for that 109 break. I thought for sure it would be a good short. I didn't do anything with it, but I would call that a failed breakdown at this point. And it's, nice hammer candle. The second day it wicked that same area and got bought up. So, and this anchored VWAP here, it's been holding that nicely. So I would be also looking upside, risking like this 109, 110 area on it. It's not a bad setup after that failed breakdown. See if you get like a reversion to the mean and they come take out these highs here at 118, which they're targeting 117. So that would make sense to me, honestly. And you got this big gap up here. They eventually may try and do something with. Not saying it has to fill all of it, but beautiful failed breakdown here on Dash. I do like that. I like that November sweeper too. It's a bunch of premium though. MVLY. Yeah, this one had a lot of attention. Not necessarily good attention this over the weekend. Saw some funny posts on that, but anyway. So this is definitely like an uptick in flow. We alerted the June 45 calls for 90 cents, which is absolutely ridiculous. Where the fuck are they? Yeah, so you see how the IV went up on these a bunch? You see how it went from 150 174 even though the spot went down. So when the underlying was $32, they paid 70 cents, and then now the IVs increased. So now with a lower spot, the option should be down, but with the volatility increase, they're up. So these people, if they're still buying, bought volatility. So Monday when this opens, if volatility comes back down, they're going to be underwater on their contracts 20 to 30% just based off the IV. So people were overpaying for that. I think we had some better flow on it though. There was something. But the thing is, somebody was put this out as a trade, so these July 34s, now that's some better size. Again, you got the IV spike, so at least the underlying was up, but those went up quite a bit already. That's some decent flow from Mobileye. I mean, you've got some puts scattered through here. These are buying as well. They're buying these July 28 puts on the move up. They're clearly underwater now. Maybe that was it. Maybe it was this July's. That's just messy. I mean, that's I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's all buying the way it came in, but so yeah, it's definitely getting lit up. That's a hell of a fucking daily candle there with that volume. I mean, that's one to watch for continuation. I don't huge gap above. I've already got all this shit marked out on it. I haven't looked at it today. But yeah, I mean, you could call that like a double bottom on the. I didn't want to go monthly. I want to go weekly. On the weekly here. So they're targeting, the 45s are targeting prior highs, but I mean the gap feels like a little bit more reasonable to target there up into the 40s. But I'd play a little bit closer to the money on that. That was like a super outsized move for that on Friday. Not saying it can't, continue with that kind of volume, but I think all this like abnormal options buying kind of drove it. And it did have news. What was the news on Friday? Or I thought it did. I might be wrong. Maybe not. I can't remember. MSTR. Gotta keep doing that. I posted the June. God, what did I post on that? I know I've tweeted something. It was like the June monthly. Yeah, Tony, the mobile those July 34s are nice. I would just want to get, like I was talking about the IV on them. I would want that to chill out, get a pullback on the underlying before you bought anything. Those got overpriced pretty quickly on Friday. This is nice. This opener, we alerted these large bullish Friday that they were buying this dip right in through here. Obviously dip further, but you kind of want to see them come in on pullbacks like that. But that's not bad for, they got 5 days for those to work. Those 1685s. I can't remember what the hell I posted though. And see, MSTR spreads are so shit. It's like, I don't have timestamp to look at that, like as in depth as I'd want to, but they wrote those. Damn, maybe I'm tripping. No, that's them. Okay, the June 1700 calls, and they're what, $100 underwater now. But that caught my eye. I tweeted these, but Bitcoin had like a failed break and pullback. They're sitting in OI on those. You can see, like, I know you don't need my help charting Blonde, but we're like digesting this point of control on the daily, and we can't really break above it cleanly. So we're just kind of struggling, and Bitcoin, that was when I say failed breakout, like that downtrend there, but we just failed those same highs. Still looks fine, but I think when everybody's like anticipating the breakout, you get overreactions like that. I think like the miners pulled back like quite a bit. Yeah, they had ugly days Friday. Yeah, ugly candles all around. That Irene though, that IREN, that shit is. Look at the increasing volume on that. That one's a really nice chart. Maya's been on that one since the 4s and 5s. She killed that. GGAL. Not much. No, I wouldn't even call that like getting flow, so no, nothing. Well, I've got lines on that for some reason. No, but nothing flow-wise that would make me look out. CELH. That thing's gotten hammered. See, and I don't. This could have been a call writer here on 6-4. They wrote these 72 calls for this week, and you see at 600 contracts, it looks like they bottomed back here for a 20-cent gain, roughly, on 600 contracts. But no, because that came in yellow again, so that means those closed. Yeah, I don't know. It's messy. But no, nothing. No like real aggressive dip buyers on Celsius yet. A lot of short dated stuff. Does it make a higher low here? I mean, it had the breakout retest everybody was watching last time that worked out. Does it make the higher low off that? Maybe. Could draw like a trend there. But, I mean, if you're going to long it up, I'd be risking like that 70, half, 71 area. Those previous lows to see if you can't get an entry around there. But nothing screaming. That's pretty. It recovered the drop last time pretty quickly, so who knows? It's kind of a weird name, but you got inside day setting up into Monday for you on that one. Steven, I touched on PayPal. I'll do it again for you because I already got it up. It's not a big deal. Flow-wise, there wasn't too much. I mean, they hit the 70s for this coming week a bunch, but it's like all small lots. I didn't see any like big, like aggressive one-order buys. Technically, you have some decent buy volume increasing here and a decent up day. I mean, we're right into some resistance that we keep failing at. But like I was saying before, it's everybody's been kind of waiting for this name to do something, and it's been pretty lackluster. So, maybe it finally does something. I don't know. But that's at least keep it on your radar with that bit of increased buy pressure there I don't know if they had a headline or something for that, but you got a couple of days of continuation. We're just starting to wick this resistance area. Again, I wouldn't want to be buying long up here unless it was like a clear breakout to try and join. I'd be wanting to get like a retest through here, like that 66 area. But, just be cautious of a failed break on that one. No, you're good, man. No worries at all. Well, anybody else got anything? Like I said, I didn't really have anything set up. I'll just kind of go off what y'all wanted to look at. I know we got CPI and FOMC on Wednesday. That's going to be a fucked up day. Steven, yeah, I thought about it. They would have to be like the night before if I did it. So, that's possible. Maybe I'll try and do one this week like that, and see how it goes. It feels like easier to like put my thoughts together doing the video versus typing out. Maybe like it's easier to like when I'm like looking at a chart and talking through it, it may be like easier to go through. Yeah, Tesla is getting close to doing something. I agree. That's arbitrage. The only trick is on the flow. It is so crowded and overtraded. You actually had a lot of arbitrage on Tesla this week. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Bunch. You had some weird, uneven call spread on these two lines that came in together. And normally if it was the same amount of contracts on those they bought, it'd be a pretty decent bull debit spread for this week, but they wrote a shit ton more than they bought. So I don't know, like if they have shares tied to that or what, but that was interesting. This is all arbitrage stuff, so a ton of that activity this week. Yeah, nothing. Tesla, it's so hard to get really good flow on Tesla and like feel confident about it. But chart wise, it's I don't have to tell you it's compressed. We keep defending that 172 half, 173 area like really, really well. But it's gonna break sooner than later. I would give my opinion on which way I think it's gonna break, but it doesn't matter. I would think up if I had to like guess, but it wouldn't surprise me to see it break down. It's been such a dog that I don't know what will happen with his compensation package or what how the market will react to it. But I need dark pool. You got 1.3 million shares Thursday at 178.70. So like this upper range here that we keep rejecting, they're adding through that area. 1.1 million at 175. So they're still just like building out this area. But those are the only two levels I would add over 1 million shares on Tesla. But these are all, and I can send this to you if you want it, but these are all the ones marked out through this range that have been like 1 million and above, and this 172 to 173 area is pretty built out. And I have them all marked out here, but just let me know if you want me to send you that. Amazon, I think Amazon is just starting to go back up. A beautiful bounce off that point of control. It doesn't get much better than that. Straight up since then, it's rejecting some resistance. Personally, I'd want to see it pull back if you're trying to long that one. Like this congestion area through here, if Amazon pulled back through here, like I would much rather take a stab, and then you could like almost say like an inverse head and shoulders is building out. Like if that was a left shoulder, that's your head, and it wouldn't be clean because it's already broke above, right? But if it came back through here and bounced like through this 180 area again, 181, and built a shoulder out, that would be like a decent setup, I think. That's pretty aggressive there on that FXI. Yeah, I don't really keep. I really don't watch ETF stuff much, but that's a decent opener there. 26.55. I don't know. I just have so little interest in trading China names. This 2650 area, though, you got 6 million shares, a little over 6 million shares through this 2650 area. I mean, I would put that on your chart if you're interested in it. That's pretty sizable there. Yeah, just not one I can really comment on. Yeah, thank you for joining. I'll send that over to you so you have it. I just got a request for Snap. And Ruth likes Snap, so if Ruth likes Snap, I like Snap. That's how it works. Yeah, I mean, that's a gorgeous setup. God, I keep fucking clicking that. These 15 calls for this week of just building an OI. You got 7,000 there chilling. They're up. It looks like those guys are back up. Let's see. So, nothing further dated on Snap yet. I think that'll catch some flow early this week if it goes. I mean, that's set up super nice. Let's see. We're breaking back above the anchored from earnings. So that would be like, if you didn't want to like wait to chase this breakout, you could just use that as like a line in the sand. See how we broke above like that congestion area and that anchored VWAP? I mean, it really doesn't give you much of a line. I would actually use this. I mean, that's pretty big on Snap. Got my handy dandy calculator here. We got 3, 5, 2, and you got, jeez. I mean, you got over 10 million shares, 10.5 million shares at 15.20 even. And that's not including 15.32 they built out here for... Let me just take this off and get this out of the way. What's up, Lemur? Thanks for stopping by, man. Yeah, this 15.20, 15.32 area is pretty fucking big. I'll put that out when I get done with this. That would be my line in the sand here. 20. Wow, I did pretty good. A penny off from there. That's not bad. That would be what you're longing off of, in my opinion. NFA, right? Not a financial advice. Don't listen to me. You can see just how that built out there. That's interesting for sure. Don't have the flow yet, really, but that is some decent sized dark pool. So probably one of the favorite things I've seen yet. You guys can watch me tweet. How about that? Yeah, that's a really nice setup. All right, we're getting close to 8. Anybody got anything else while I'm here? Anything I should look at? I think Snap's my favorite thing that I've seen so far that I may do something with. God, this name's been fucked up. Well, yeah, that's a bunch of inside weeks too. That's some nice compression. Huh. Okay. Well, I'll go ahead and end it there if I don't got anybody else. I appreciate all you guys coming by, asking questions. Hopefully, you got what you needed. If not, I'm sure I'll do it again and we can go through some other things. But yeah, I appreciate you guys stopping by. My first time live streaming. Hymns we'll look at real quick. Yep, long dick pills and weight loss pills, right? Yeah, this needs to probably pull back and cool off, right? What do I got on here? 21 and 34. It is so far stretched. Really don't use moving averages a bunch, but they're a good point of reference in the trend. You can see every time Hims comes to the 8, it gets a bounce on the daily. So that's where it retested Friday. If it pulled back to that 1915, I think that'd be a gift to try and long it. Hey, thanks for coming, Steven. Appreciate you. Yeah, Lemur, those are some bigger prints. I don't like that 2175 that came at the top with the biggest. Got almost 2 million shares at 2079. That's where we closed. Yeah. What did they hit? I thought they hit something. Maybe not. Maybe I'm going crazy. Or maybe it was last week. Yeah, either way, those are some decent prints to watch. Where are we at in relation to all-time highs? Oh yeah, I don't see why this wouldn't go to all-time highs. Look at the volume on that breakout candle. See, I tell you, these freaking anchored VWAPs from all-time highs off these recent IPOs, it's like once they break above them, like they have such good moves. I know that was you got this break, and I mean it ran from $8 to 12, and it's nothing to sneeze at. 50% on the underlying, and it got the break back below. But if you got long on this pushback above it when it held here at 850, I mean, I love those things. But yeah, just looking at that, I don't look at all the buy volume on the weekly there. You're just super stretched above the 8 here on the weekly, but I'd be trying to buy pullbacks on that personally. I think that looks really constructive to go back to. All-time highs, not financial advice. All right, guys. I'll call it there. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I will see y'all later. Thanks, y'all.